tip. Coming all three speakers. Good honest reviews, book shows, and the movies all getting featured. They all getting featured. Said it's Tanesha's tip. Coming all three speakers. Coming all three speakers. Good honest reviews, book shows, and the movies all getting featured. Yeah. It's your girl Tanesha, straight magic. The greatest book reviews, let's get at it. She not here to offend, she just honest. Bringing words that may leave you astonished. And plus she do shows. She cover all like hands, knees, and toes. Don't lollygag, no, she just roll. And it's on to the next one, on to a fresh one. Said it's on to the next one, on to a fresh one. Tanesha's tip. Coming all three speakers. Good honest reviews, book shows, and the movies all getting featured. Said it's Tanesha's tip. Coming all three speakers. Coming all three speakers. Good honest reviews, book shows, and the movies all getting featured. Yeah. Hey. It ain't for the clout, it's honest. See the truth when you look beyond it. Book shows, not to mention movies. She give or take in a great way, you'll see. Check it out, see if you agree. If you vibe, yes, it's meant to be. And baby, you don't even need the script. Learn it all with Tanesha's tips. Tanesha's tip. Coming all three speakers. Yeah. Good honest reviews, book shows, and the movies all getting featured.
Hi, and welcome to Tanesha's Tips. Today we're going to go over Amazon's first reads for July 2025. I know I am very late. It's almost the 20th of the month, and I'm just sending this reminder. I'm going to give you a quick synopsis of what each book is about, and I will put them on the screen. So we have about 10 books this time of this month, and it says that you choose 2 Kindle books free with Prime. So if you have Amazon Prime, then you should get this. Okay, so the first one is a true crime book, and it's called Out of the Woods by Greg Olson. And I'm going to read this synopsis. From a girl's abduction by a serial killer to the harrowing aftermath, a gripping and heart-wrenching true crime story by Greg Olson, the #1 New York Times bestselling author of If You Tell. In May 2005, authorities discovered the grown family murdered in their Idaho home. The family's youngest members, 8-year-old Shasta and her brother, 9-year-old Dylan, were nowhere to be found. As the community prayed for their return, Shasta and Dylan were already miles away in the woods of Montana at the hands of serial killer Joseph Edward Duncan. After a harrowing 48-day ordeal, Shasta was rescued. In many ways, her survival story was only the beginning. In the following years, while Shasta struggled to outrun her trauma, a pattern of self-destructive behavior shadowed her like an ever-worsening thunderstorm. She still had hope buried deep inside, every bit as much as a little girl who had been held captive in the woods. This would be an all-new battle for Shasta, and she was determined not to lose. Out of the Woods is the haunting and intimate true crime story of one of the most notorious criminal cases in American history, a young woman's journey to reclaim her life in its wake. That actually sounds pretty good. The next book is a family drama, and it's called The Fourth Daughter, and it's by Lynn Lyo Butler, and I might have pronounced that name wrong, but you guys get the gist of it. The synopsis. In Taiwan, the bond between granddaughter and grandmother opens up a healing world for them both in an inspiring family saga about the comfort of food, untold histories, and indomitable mother love. Chef Liv Kuo's star is on the rise until a traumatic incident leaves her emotionally unstable or unable to venture outside her Manhattan apartment. But an unexpected reason to break free comes from Ma, Liv's beloved grandmother in Taiwan. Ma needs Liv's help in finding her fourth daughter, taken from her when the girl was an infant. After all these years, it seems impossible. It's also a mystery. Ma's fourth daughter is an aunt Liv never even knew existed. After landing in Taiwan, Liv hears the heartbreaking story of her grandmother's plight in a country once under martial law, of choices made for her, and of the hopeful search for a lost girl that has endured for more than 60 years. Like the enriching food and traditions that bind Liv and Alma, their journey for answers brings them together, and it's a quest that turns up both a precious and old cookbook, a tale of fatal betrayal that shakes everything Liv believed about her family, revelations that could also give her the courage to face the trauma she left behind. So even though it's a family drama, it's kind of got some crime in it too. It's some suspense. It sounds interesting. Okay. The next book is a historical fiction book, and it's called The Women of Arlington Hall, and it's by Jane Healy. Excuse my doctor. She's over here drinking water like she ain't never had water before. I think she kind of just want to be on camera, but whatever. Anyway, a female code breaker puts her future and her heart on the line in a stirring novel about love, loyalty, betrayal, and Cold War spy games by the best-selling author of The Secret Stealers. In 1947, adventurous Radcliffe graduate Catherine Cat Kylene cancels her wedding and upends a future that no longer suits her. At the behest of her professor and hungry for a challenge, Cat arrives in Virginia to work on a confidential military project. A student in cryptoanalysis, Cat is already ahead of the game to assist in rooting out Soviet spies who have infiltrated the U.S. Joining the government girls of Arlington Hall, Cat gains the respect of the superiors and the friendship of her peers. Then, on a night out in D.C., Cat runs into Jonathan Dardis, her arrogant and privileged Harvard rival and newly minted agent for the FBI. What Cat and Jonathan share is a competitive drive and an attraction that's becoming just as spirited. They're also united in the same critical goal for America. Together, they're diving deep into the shadows of the espionage. The stakes of the code-breaking operation grow even higher, and Kat's relationship with Jonathan opens her heart. Amid dangerous intrigue and grave secrecy, Kat is ready for every risk, no matter how personal the stakes get. Okay, historical fiction meets, I guess, love story meets FBI. I guess, I don't know. That don't do it for me, but okay. Moving on. The next book is a psychological thriller, and it's called Last Scene by J.T. Ellison. Okay, this one. From the New York Times bestselling author J.T. Ellison comes a twisted psychological thriller about the bonds of family and the disconnect between memory and the truth. Come here, come closer. Haley James knows her marriage is over, but she's not prepared for the rest of her life to fall apart too. No one can hear you. No one can help you. She just lost her job at the forensics lab. Her dad needs emergency surgery, but the biggest blow comes back home in Marchburg, Virginia, where she discovers her mother didn't actually die in a car crash. Her mom was murdered, and her father lied about it all these years. I have nothing to hide from you. Are you hiding something from me? Since she was 6 years old, it's been Haley and her dad. Now, she doesn't know what to believe. Desperate for the truth, Haley chases down a lead in Brockville, Tennessee. But all there is not as it seems. Brockville's utopian charm hides a chilling darkness, and Haley's search for the answers threaten to expose an unspeakable reality. This one actually sounds pretty good. But, you know, I'm here for a psychological thriller, so that might be, I'm leaning toward the first one and then this one so far. The next book is The Chemistry Test by Georgina Franke, and this is a romance. Okay. She's ready to experiment with life. What about love? Incredibly resilient and determined to rewrite the possibilities of life with a chronic illness, Penny is ready to leave her family behind and go to college by herself, accompanied by a snazzy new wheelchair and a backpack full of confidence. When she meets the charming actor CJ, who is studying the same course, there's an immediate spark. But Penny worries that her life isn't fast paced enough for CJ and assumes they are better off as friends. But Penny and CJ find themselves inspiring each other and gradually discover as they put their feelings under the microscope that leaning on another person can be a sign of strength, not weakness. Because when it comes to science of romance, the first rule is never ignore your own chemistry. A swoon-worthy and utterly gorgeous STEM college romance that will melt your heart and have you flying through the pages. If you love forced proximity and grumpy sunshine, the chemistry test is for you. Okay, all right then. I'm not mad at it, but I don't think that's going to be mine. The next one is a suspense, and it's called Who is the Liar by Laura Lee Barr, I guess. Barr? I don't know. We'll see. Okay, this one is an ingenious novel of suspense about sisterhood, innocence, murderous games, and how far we'll go to protect the ones we love. In a tight-knit town in the 1980s, a child killer is on the loose, and Topaz's parents are on the edge. At 10 years old, Topaz is vulnerable, but she has nothing to worry about. Her eldest sister, Ruby, has made sure of that. Swearing Topaz's secrecy, Ruby reveals that she has trapped a monster in their root cellar. Bound and bloodied in the cold space is kindly Brother Johnson from the church. Pleading with Topaz to cut him loose, he says her reckless sister is a liar. Brother Johnson is right about that. Ruby does lie. She also likes to scare people. Still, even Ruby wouldn't lie about this, would she? The game and the secret is in her hands, but Topaz just wants to do the right thing. Let Brother Johnson die in the cold space or try to set him free and then see what happens next. Okay, no, I guess. I don't know. The next book is a fantasy, and it's called While the Dark Remains by Joanna Ruth Meyer. In an icebound palace of magic and menace, a young woman plots to outwit a cruel king in a bracing fantasy about love, found family, and immeasurable revenge. Brianna spent her childhood as a captive performer in Tenebris, the imposing mountain palace of King Callus. Every night she risked death for the king's entertainment until his rebellious son, Prince Ballast, helped her escape. Now 20, Brianna has never forgotten the brutal king or forgiven him. Under the cloak of a 3-month-long winter dark, Brianna is returning to Tenebris for revenge. Accompanied by a rival court, including the alluring Prince Vil, Brianna poses a diplomatic royalty to barter peace between nations. No one is better equipped to infiltrate the palace than Brianna. She remembers every hidden passage like a bad dream. But her quest to destroy Callus is complicated by her feelings for Prince Ballast, whom she isn't sure she can still trust. And Callias also quests to mine a catastrophic weapon of war buried in the mountain's heart will threaten them all and force Brianna to face the darkest parts of herself. The lives of everyone she loves depends on the choices she must make. So, too, does the fate of the world. So, she gotta make a decision. I don't know. That ain't my thing either. I don't know what you think. Anyway, so this next one is a short story, and it's also women's fiction. It's called The Toy Car by Rose Tremaine. Okay, so from Rose Tremaine, the best-selling author of Orange Prize, winning author of The Road Home, comes a deeply moving coming-of-age story. 2 paths, 2 futures, but only one way home. In the sun-bleached ideal of the Greek island home, 17-year-old Petros Castellanos' future seems mapped out. He'll inherit his father's modest taxi fleet and continue his family's tradition. However, his English mother sees a different path for her son, one that leads far from the watchful eyes of their small community. So Petros goes to London to stay with his mother's cousin. The capital is an overwhelming city whose dazzling possibilities both terrify and enthrall him. But he must decide, will he disappoint his father to fulfill his mother's dreams or find the courage to chart his own course home? The Toy Car is a deeply moving coming-of-age story about the weight of expectation and what it means to decide the shape of your own life. I ain't mad at that one. And then here comes a mystery, and it's called The Housewarming by Christian Offler. Offler, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, I'm butchering these people's names. Sorry. In a haunting novel of psychological suspense, a summer getaway gone wrong rips apart a group of lifelong friends, thrusting their story into the true crime spotlight and potentially their secrets too. For 5 friends vacationing on Block Island, it was a summer to remember. How could they forget when only 4 made it back to the mainland? Now, half a decade after Zoe Gilbert's unsolved disappearance, Callie Sutter invites estranged friends Meg, Tess, and Lindsay, the last to see Zoe on the fateful trip, to reunite on the anniversary of the mystery that tore them apart. Back on Block Island, Callie reasons they can come together again, memorialize Zoe, allay old resentments and recriminations, and put the past to rest. But it won't be so easy. Patricia Adele, a true crime podcaster who once made a name for herself by casting suspicion on Zoe's surviving friends all those years ago, is most eager for the reunion. She resurfaced with a book proposal claiming to expose them all as cold-blooded liars and conspirators in a crime once and for all. Driven by self-preservation, the women must reckon with their long-held secrets and share history if they're to find out what really happened to Zoe on that hot August day. But will the truth set them free or condemn them all? No one is prepared to find out. I like this one. This one is pretty good. Okay, so now I got 3 in the running. It's between Out of the Woods, Last Scene, and The Housewarming so far. Okay, and the last one is middle grade, and it's called Biggest Fake in the Universe by Johan Rundberg. I am butchering these names. I'm so sorry, people. Anyway, this is reading ages 9 to 12 years old, so this might be a good little chapter book for somebody if their child is interested. So the synopsis goes this way. The Bluff of a Lifetime. It started off innocently enough. Mo just wanted to catch a girl's eye. She was this super talented and mysterious skater girl who looked like she had the universe all figured out. So Mo did what any self-respecting nerd would do. He put aside his chess pieces, his guinea pig, and his books on astronomy and transferred himself into a skater guy in the hopes that she might notice him. He never expected to catch the attention of the entire town, practically all of Sweden, and the internet. But that's exactly what happens when Mo, by a stroke of total luck, pulls off the skateboarding trick of a lifetime. He goes viral. What's a guy to do when the whole universe is expecting him to be something he's not? Find out in this charming and hilarious story as Mo learns the meaning of being true to himself the hard way. That sounds cute. Okay, so anyway, that sums up Amazon's first reads for July. Make sure you pick them before July the 31st so that you get your 2 free books. It does not say it has to be that short story, so I'm going to lean toward 2 full books this time. And again, I think it's going to be Out of the Woods. I know that one for sure because I'm very interested to see what that was about. Last Scene and Housewarming are the other 2 that I'm leaning toward. So we'll see. We'll find out later. All right. Until next time, thank you for watching Tanesha's Tips.
And plus she do shows. She cover all like hands, knees, and toes. Don't lollygag, no, she just roll. Then the song to the next one, on to a fresh one. Woo. Ha. Set a song to the next one, on to a fresh one. Tanesha's Tips.